So, catch up here for about a week. What has been happening? So, I've got I got a fan club which doesn't want me to get a regular job because I will then wean my ex off of the Social Security disability in order to get her back in the United States again, which is a viable thought. It's kind of hard to be a bad guy, but they would be doing better over here. It's hard. It's a tough discussion. So most of my family does not want me to get a job, and it's rooting that I do not get one. It turns out that they're probably on the side of about 90% of the planet, which could care less that I could care less for me at the workplace. So I've been, Sister Ramona's kind of hoping that I go back down to the Bahamas and work down there, and it turns out that can't work. I thought it was viable, but it turns out that they've got some laws preventing foreigners from I'm a foreigner, so it prevents me from just popping up a shop and collecting money from Bahamas citizens. So that put a stop to that, and so I'm on this, I guess, this track of, still trying to get a job. The one from this one place I applied for, I interviewed. It's a 3-step process. There's an initial interview, and then there's supposed to be a programming project that takes a couple hours to do, and then third is another interview. I never got to base 2. So I'm looking into that. I'm trying to find out. Their excuse is questionable, so I'm looking into finding out, maybe if they know who I am and they're discriminating against me. It's a crappy world. I mean, I literally could submit a resume to any company and then sue them 1 month later for discrimination. I mean, it is a crap. It's a crap. It's not a crapshoot. It's a shooting fish out of a barrel. I literally can sue anybody. And it's just that it's so hard to get that done. It's so hard to get any money from that. So yeah, it's a sucky world that this name change thing. I just had this conversation earlier today with Todd Childs, and he's adamantly telling me that I cannot use Tony Roller, my middle name, for my resume. That indicates that I'm lying. I'm trying to tell him that he's wrong, because he is wrong, and he completely swears that he's right. It's not about. There's a level of confidence that a person can ensue that's utterly repulsive. If the way they conduct themselves is such that they have little or they have no doubts in anything they ever say in their life, that person is pretty repulsive to me. That they can actually issue a statement without any doubt in their mind. It indicates that they have no tolerance for any training, for learning. They cannot learn anything ever again. And it's symbolic of most old people. When people get old, they never want to learn again, and they're stuck in their old ways. And they're always absolutely sure what's going on. This was the way Todd conducted himself. I almost got into a serious argument with him about how he was telling me that what I'm doing with Tony Roller is not legal. And I'm trying to tell him I've got a credit card, I've got a bank, changed my name at the bank. I've talked to the government center here in Redwood Falls and some HR people. It is bloody, and yet I take it as though maybe I have some doubt what I've heard, and I have a lot of evidence to show that I'm right. But it's just repulsive how he conducts himself, such that he has no doubt in his mind of anything. And I'm thinking Scott Hammerschmidt. I'm thinking this is how Scott Hammerschmidt conducts himself too. That's how my mom conducts herself. Every old person I come across is stuck and stubborn and never doubting anything they ever say. That was just unpleasant conversation, and yet I'm taking it in as though perhaps maybe I've heard wrong, and yet I know he's wrong, and I couldn't even get budge an ounce of doubt in his mind, despite shoving it down his throat back at him, and it's just almost a heated argument that yet I couldn't change it one bit. So I got a recording here of a small claims court with the Hennepin County. I'm trying to file some cases. I'm going to do this perjury case against these two lawyers that do not want to tell me that they didn't commit perjury. Also, this judge that's trying to hide from his judgments. There's something about this judicial immunity that I'm talking with a lawyer about that claims that a judge can even try to kill me inside the courtroom, and he cannot be held accountable for these actions. Now, I know right there I'm talking to an idiot when I talk to that lawyer there. And so I'm assuming they're all idiots, which they're all corrupt. I know they were corrupt. But when I heard that, it's like, wow, that I can kill that they can kill me. They can kill me and be immune from prosecution. So the real story, that's an idiot. The real story is they're immune to their judgments, but any crimes they commit they can be held accountable for torts, and so that's why I'm trying to sue them for torts, for crimes committed against me. And I ran into some problems with this lady at the Hennepin Small Claims. So you hear a conversation about that. And what's the other one? There's a fourth one. One second. Oh yeah. Then the district court threw away a bunch of documents and screwed up the entire case. The one with the Wagner, Faulkner, and Judd, the whole prepaid legal and the Bosley thing went awry because they kept throwing my documents away. Threw 3 or 4 documents away. Screwed everything up in the timeline of the docket because of that. And I'm suing them because I probably lost the case as a result of that throwing away. So it's 4 there, and she's giving me. So you'll hear the argument. And I guess I threatened. There'll be a threat in there. It's amazing how dangerous the legal system is as a result of how they set it up. I made reference to the fact that judges are probably in danger, and that's the reason why people kill them, right? That's the reason why people shoot them. And she comes off all thready, like I'm threatening her, and I'm just making a statement of fact. Their system is corrupt, and because that corruption actually endangers every legal professional in the game. The way the system is, it endangers everybody, and I'm trying to fix it. So here she's calling me the bad guy in this, and I'm trying to tell her that, listen, I'm trying to fix it, and you're the corrupt one, you're the bitch. And you all suck. You all suck in the legal system. It is bloody funny. That's the only thing that these people listen to is threats. That's the only thing that goes into their ear. And then when they hear it, it's like, oh my God, we got a problem. There's a fire. What'd you say? What'd you say, Rolla? I said, I'm God. excuse me, but I have to tend to get some coffee. And, oh, ma'am, you didn't hear that? Hear what? Oh, did you hear that I'm God? I'm still getting my coffee, excuse me. No, ma'am, did you hear what I said? Did you hear that judges are getting shot at? Are you threatening me? See, she hears that. And I met this lady on Plenty of Fish, and pretty nice lady. Kim's her name. But I can show you the conversation, but it's a long one. I'd just rather sum it up and say that sweet lady, nice, innocent, horny for me until, well, I started sending her some messages, joking around about, you know, coming over there and meeting her. So I was pretending that I was like, oh, I'm on my way over to visit you. And we're joking around about it. She's pretty cool about it until I made, I'm like, okay, so, you check out the window. I'm sitting on your doorstep. Open the door up, please. It's all pretty good until I make reference to, well, in the joking, in the texting where I'm messing around with texting, and I say, well, I'm gonna send you a pic of I'm gonna sext you. I'm gonna send you a picture of my naked body, and somehow raise an eyebrow of awareness, and in the whole conversation with her, she's like, always like, just be yourself. And we spent an hour or two on the phone, and she's like, always be yourself, and it's, nothing else matters, and my income doesn't matter, and she's like a really genuinely nice lady. What struck her is that I was going to sex her my body, and then now she's got to be afraid of me. And it's like it is so strange, the mating process, because women got to be, there's a timing involved. It's like a comedy act. There's a timing for the joke and how you say it that makes it better for the audience. Same way with the woman. I mean, there's a time to bang her, and that is pretty much right away. I mean, if it doesn't happen right away, if the chemistry's there, this was there. So it was like, how do I say this? Oh God, it's hard to explain, but the timing is important. And I knew the timing was all there. It's just I figured we could joke around for a few more days before, or a week before, to keep that emotion there. But it turns out that sending a naked picture of my body is evidently raises eyebrows, and I would think that she would like that, even if I were to do it, which I'm not. I'm not sure what's so bad about it, other than she's just a butthead. And the entire time I'm joking with her about everything, and yet she took that seriously. I just think the timing is all off now, and the vibe in the air, which you got to bang them, that's all gone. It is bloody freaking stupid how women operate. It is stupid how they have that mode. It's like the Black Widow. It's just unbelievable how they can be wooed, and you have to do them at the right time. And if you don't do it at the right time, it's over, and they kill you. They don't. It is unbelievable how much they are like a black widow. It's so sickening to me. The women sicken me. It's so bad. And the thing is, this lady is really the cream of the crop for being a nice lady, and yet she turns on me. And I decided at that point that I was just going to initiate a spell on the entire female race. And hopefully change their tune. This was the last straw. I mean, I have found somebody here that is actually a decent person, very, very decent person, who has turned on me. Yeah, I told her that, you know, I rarely, if ever, meet anybody like this. I should maybe give you the conversation, but I'll figure it. I'll think about it. But I've really had it with the stupidity that women exude. They're so stupid. They have no idea how stupid they act and how they sound. They have no common sense. They're dumb people. I have to talk a little bit more about why I call them stupid, women stupid, and it relates back to millions of years of evolution and the way we behave animalistically about the mating process. There is, and it's like the black widow. It's like that, where they need to be wooed, and there is the timing involved in the mating process, that you need to deliver that penis into the vagina and get the hell out, and you've completed your mission. And that's the guy's job, and that is. And she's just thinking, well, I need to, oh, this has got to be feel right, and everything. Oh yeah, he's got, it seems nice, and he can take care of me, he can provide for my children, and oops, he sticks it in, and he's out. If you don't time it right, then the moment is over. And that just seems so archaic to me. It just seems so freaking caveman-like. So when I call them stupid, it's not because they have any choice. They're programmed that way. They are that the nature of us. And that guy, it's mostly the women. The nature of them just prevents them from having any common sense. If to have any common sense would not be to be a caring raiser for children, because if you actually, if I think I've mentioned this in other videos, but if you to be that caring to raise a child and risk your life over it, it doesn't make any sense when the laws of nature, of survival, that our natural way is to propagate the species, propagate and raise that child. And in order to do that, nature has had to make women dumb, because it does not make sense to raise kids. It's dangerous. It takes care of resources. It takes food out of the mother's mouths, out of everybody else's mouths to raise them. But the women will fight till the end to ensure that their children can be raised. Now, I'm not saying that's bad. That's absolutely the greatest thing. Thank God women do that. Thank God. But in order to do that, nature and millions of evolution had to dumb them down in order to understand that makes no sense. That logically, I know I'm not trying to sound mean about raising kids. I'm saying I'm glad that they're dumb. I'm glad that they have no idea how dangerous it is. In nature's, what's it called, the Darwinism factor that says the laws of survival, that it erases taking care of kids, that it puts a barrier, puts a force, a guarding force around kids. That thank goodness women care for them. And guys do too. But not like the same. And I was in the Bahamas, and Sharon, this lady that runs, it's a cousin of Maria's, my ex-wife. So her cousin runs a store, and she's telling me how her son was killed by her father over, I think, some money issues where he was kind of like using sort of his bank account for some kind of a contract with somebody for construction. And if you think our system's corrupt over here, you should see what it's like over there. I mean, you can buy off police and stuff. I mean, here they get nothing done on purpose because they don't want to get anything done. Over there, you can start paying people off and they get nothing done. So this depends on who's got money. So here's her son's dead, and she can't even see his dead body for the funeral. The husband has even paid off somebody to keep her from seeing the dead body. So why did I say that? Oh, there's a saying that men can kill their own kids, and they don't give a crap. Okay, there is that can occur. You won't see that in too many women. Okay, let's just say that, and that's an understatement. Men can easily do that. Can easily kill off their kids. And so let's talk about that a little bit. So the point is that caring, in order to care for somebody, means you have to lack the logic and to understand that that's actually against Darwinism. And so there's this like fight going on about Darwinism about survival of the mother versus Darwinism survival of the species and the generation, to continue the generations. So you got this colliding of forces of Darwinism between the child and the mother. In order to make that happen, where the child can grow old, the mother has to become stupid enough to understand that doesn't make any Darwinism sense, and care for that kid till it's raised. And thank God that's the way it is. Unfortunately, there's a side effect of not making any sense in real life as a result of that. They lack common sense. So I had a conversation with Hank, my uncle, about Steph and the case, and I'll just let you listen to it. It pretty much describes there's an information gap that keeps privilege sucks that privileged information is only privileged to the investigators and not to anybody else. And I mean, it sounds like nothing's going to get told until the trial. Anyways, there's an audio that pretty much describes it. It's very frustrating that this can be occurring. And I guess I'll let it be at that. One addendum I forgot to add was I went to this ticket thing. I guess I was speeding, and
if you heard my previous clips, I'm asking the city attorney for an affidavit indicating that I was actually going, 43 and a 30. And complete resistance by the police officer, by the city attorney, the whole system. So when they resist like this, I infer guilt. So I get there, and they try to do this outside the courtroom, and I'm like, well, we're already here. You could have signed this thing. They show me the document that I mailed to them, and I'm like, well, why didn't you sign this? And I'm like, we're right outside the courtroom. It's like, well, we might as well go in there now, So I don't think they were going to sign it anyhow, but they mentioned it. I've now driven 45 minutes to New Ulm to find out what's going on. So we get in the courtroom, and the assistant city attorney is trying to do this again without the trial, and I'm like, just have him swear that I was going 43, That's just swear him in and tell me it's sworn testimony. That's and I made mention that it's possible he was fudging numbers. We want to find out what's going on. That would be illegal, right? Anyways, so push come to shove, we had a trial, which lasted, I don't know, maybe probably 10 minutes, and about 7 of it was kind of like drawn out thing, and I just wanted to get to the meat of the thing. Was I going 43? So I finally got to ask questions, and I basically asked, was I going 43? Did your radar say 43? And he stalled, and because he had mentioned 41 a couple times, and I have this on. I think I have this on audio, but I'm having trouble finding it. I recorded it when I was in there. I'm having trouble locating my MP3 player, but so I'm not sure I'm gonna have the audio. But anyways, he did test. He basically, it was pretty hard to get him to actually say it, but he did eventually say, yeah, it was 43. He's like, well, we can reduce this to 41 if you want. I'm like, no, I just want to know, was I going 43? Was I truthfully going 43? And it was like pulling nails. But he finally said it. And so I paid the fine, and I was on my way. All that, I've been asking just a simple statement to avoid going to court, and they couldn't get it to me. Hi, Jessica. It's Chris Roller.
Hello.
Hi. Yeah, I was kind of babbling. I wasn't. It was. But basically, what I found out from this, I was chatting with this lady with online, a lawyer, and she didn't mention this doctrine. It's a judicial immunity. Have you ever heard of that?
I have heard of it. I'm not as familiar with it.
I mean, has anybody ever taken a judge to court for their crappy decision making?
Not that I'm aware of. Not in our court. We wouldn't hear anything like that. Usually, if somebody calls me and they are in disagreement with the decision or how they can write a letter to like our chief judge who could look into it. But I've not seen the judge case before. And I believe they do have judicial immunity. But as you stated, I'm not a lawyer, so that's why I told you should contact one.
Well, you seem to have a lot of advice last time I talked with you.
I know a lot of procedural information because I do work here, and so I do know the conciliation court rules, and so yes, I do know conciliation court policies and processes and procedures.
So let me see here. if the judge, I didn't like what the judge did, I'm supposed to file in district court, or appeal in district court.
You could,
And then if that,
appeal the report.
and then if that judge treats me like crap, and I don't like their crappy decision making, then I reported to the, I think there's an appeal board, there's a judicial appeal board for the state of Minnesota, something like that, right?
You can go to the Court of Appeals.
Well, no, well, there's that. I mean, but I'm saying there's also there's a board. There's a board of not appeals.
There's a Board of Standards.
Board of Standards. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah. The thing is about that club, it's like you understand that doesn't that standard of that Board of Standards is like preaching to, what's the word? Is it preaching to the choir? I don't even know what that means, but what I'm trying to mean is, if the community that produced the crappy judge is the Board of Standards, then why am I complaining to the Board of Standards when they don't really even give a crap and they're not going to do anything? I have actually complained to the Board of Standards and they did nothing. They did nothing to me, for me.
Well, I don't make the rules, sir, and I don't write the legislation. That's the legislator's job. So I can't change that. Those are the rules. That's the way it is. So if that's something you don't change, that's going to your local representative and trying to get the law changed.
Well,
So
what I'm saying is, it sounds like the judge can actually try to kill me in the courtroom and he can get away with it.
okay.
I mean,
I'm just going to stop this conversation because I just can't. Obviously, nobody could try to kill somebody in the courtroom. That's
Okay.
a whole separate
All right.
criminal matter. So
Okay, it's
killing
criminal.
somebody in the courtroom is not something that would happen here.
Okay, I guess I may be exaggerating a bit, but it sounds like he can get away with whatever he wants to, and there's completely absolute judicial immunity over what he's doing. He cannot be sued, and that's bloody amazing to me.
Well, there is a Board of Standards that can come in and look at judicial conduct, and judges can be reprimanded if they don't act according to the judicial standards.
Again, understand my point is that that's...
Okay, wait, and I understand you don't agree with it, but I don't, there's nothing I can do about it. So do you have another question for me? I don't know if you have another question. I mean, I can't argue this case, this fact with you because there's nothing I can do to change. So if there's something else I can help you with, I'd be more than happy to, but I can't keep talking about that subject because there's nothing I can do to change it.
You can understand why people might get a little frustrated with judges, right? If they have a I don't give a crap attitude and they just make decisions and they know that they can't be touched, you can understand. You can understand the...
Sure, you can write a letter, and if you want to write a letter to me, I could file if there was a trend of behavior like that, and that's something I'd have to look into. So, I mean, I guess those are your options, and you can choose to do what you want, but I can't. I can only tell you what's available that I know of. That's why I said you should talk to a lawyer and you can see what your options are.
I have a separate question here. I say I have another case.
Mm-hmm.
Last time we talked, we mentioned that we should, the judge can recuse himself, or I can ask for, what's the word for asking for another judge?
Notice to remove.
Say again?
A notice to remove.
A removal, yeah. See, you walk into small claims.
Hey, you know, we do have a different judge here every day. We don't have the same judge here every day. You
Okay.
should know that, right?
Okay. The thing is, but you're saying how I could recuse it. Right, that's the problem, is that I don't know who's going to be there until I show up.
Yep, you could file it the day of. It's one page form.
Okay, is it possible that I could get somehow when I file this thing that I could get somehow a sworn statement from the judge indicating that there is no conflict of interest with me?
No.
See, you see the frustration, right? You see the level of frustration that gets built up.
I don't even, when you file though, I don't even know who's going to hear your case. We schedule them like a month or two out, and it could change the day of. I mean, sometimes our judges, they rotate every day, and sometimes they call in sick, or sometimes something comes in. sometimes the day of. So I can't guarantee who would be here. And a judge does have an obligation, if they feel like that they can't hear the case unbiased, but they have an obligation to recuse themselves, and that's why they can recuse themselves in cases. So I think it's just a given that they would be.
So I don't know who's coming up. You won't give me a sworn statement indicating there's no conflict of interest, so he's not going to recuse himself. I walk in, he makes a bad decision making because he hates my guts, and then I can't do anything to touch him. Now,
Then you can file a demand for removal if you don't agree with the decision and have it sent over to district court.
yeah, well, the district court does the same.
By a different judge.
The district court does the same thing to me. They make crappy decision making as well. I allege I'm God. In fact, I'll swear to it. I'll bet lots of money that I'm God. And I walk in and these judges treat me like utter dirt. Okay? Now this is really frustrating for a guy has got incredible amount of talent like myself. I made truth happen under oath where nobody can lie to me under the oath, and yet I've got every bit of the legal system says, Chris Roller, you can go F yourself. And every which step I take, it says, Chris, I'm sorry, but you're not going to get any help here, and you're not going to get any money, and you're not going to get any answers. And, you know, this is going to, yeah, I mean.
I don't think I can really help you any more than with the information I've already given you. But you can certainly, if it's the person you think should remove themselves, you can, or that you think would be, not make a decision in your, would be unbiased, you can file a notice to remove and you can file it the day of. But you can't file it after, you have to file it before. And so, and if you call us the week of your hearing, we will let you know what judicial officer we have scheduled, but note that it is subject to change because people have lives and people get sick and things like that happen. So I can't ever guarantee that if we say that person is going to be here, that they'll be here that day. It could always change. But you could file a removal the day of if you felt that judicial officer, for whatever reason, you don't have to give a reason why you want to remove them. So. Okay.
This is, okay. Can I just ask, when do you hear these things in the news when judges get shot? I haven't heard anything in a while, but when it occurs, what is the reason for that occurring?
Sir, I'm not going to go there with you, and I am now finding this to be a threatening phone call.
No. That's why I didn't want to talk about it, because it's like, but you understand the level of frustration that can get built up, right? It's not me. You have to worry about me. But I'm just saying, this must not be occurring to everybody else. This is why I didn't want to mention this, because you would say exactly what you just said. I'm just kind of curious, what gets done when, is there any reflection when this occurs in the judicial system? Hello?
I'm not going to have this discussion with you, sir. It's not about conciliation. If you have a conciliation court question, I'll answer it. Otherwise, I need to move on to my job, helping other customers that we have. So.
Yeah, I'm not a threat. I'm just curious. I mean, do you have any self-reflection upon the legal system when these things occur, and people get really frustrated and that they have no level of output other than to do that? Is there anything that does the legal system have any self-conscious? That's my question.
It's not a question about conciliation court that I can answer. You're asking my personal opinion, and I don't.
I'm just trying to make a difference. I'm trying to fix the system as best as possible. I made truth happen under oath. The governments do not want to pay me for this miracle of miracles. I'm doing my best to fix the legal system, and it's just so corrupt to me. It's just the corruptest thing ever, and I just see all these warning signs, and And I'm just doing my best to fix it, you know. And I'm sorry that you can't answer my questions. I don't know who to go to, but I figured this would be a first step, you know.
Sure. And I can answer questions about conciliation court. And that's where my expertise is in conciliation court. I can't answer questions about anything outside of that.
All right. Thank you, Jennifer, for your time. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, I'm just curious. Probably would have helped for them to talk to my references. Evidently they, I don't know. So, anyways, that's just,
Was it here in town or?
yes,
Down the city?
Bloomington. It was actually a good location.
Yeah.
Would have been kind of cool. Could have got back in town there and maybe did Socrates again, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Did you ever find out anything more on your sister? What happened?
They have a grand jury. They haven't. They'll decide.
Investigation.
Yeah, investigation, and they'll decide how to.
Whether it's foul play or not?
Yeah.
So nobody's brought any evidence for it that it was anything other than her own doing, or is there a tendency that there would be foul play involved?
Oh no, it's been determined there's foul play. She was hit on the head.
Oh, okay.
She was hit on the head.
Oh, okay. That
Yeah. And
pretty much tells the story.
and the thing is that they. Yeah. Yeah, it's foul play, and it looks like the husband did it.
So now it just remains to be seen how it's going to play out, huh?
Yeah, it's you know, I'm beyond sad. It's like I'm mad.
Well, I wouldn't be, you know, not for you to interfere with justice, you know, as far as that goes. So.
Well, I'm not mad like I want heads to roll. I'm just mad that stuff's dead because frankly
That was your favorite, you said, yeah.
Well, yeah, and Dale's life is over, the husband.
Yeah.
Everybody's life is going to get turned upside down, including mine.
Everything's more complicated now, like you said.
Yeah, my life is more complicated, and
Everybody involved, really. No doubt. But life does go on, we can say that much. It's a shame for the kids, though. It's, you know, it's going to be tough on them. More than anybody else.
yeah, oh boy. So what do you think about this thing, all the politics that led up to the shooting down in Arizona?
Well, I definitely think it's by design. You know, that's the way I feel about it. You know, they knew that there's loose cannons out there, and they played into their game, you know. And this guy was stupid enough to think he was going to be a hero for doing so. You know, that's the move on his part. Just don't, you know, it's a no-win for anybody here. So why did they do it? You know, why did they put all this rhetoric out on the airwaves that, you know, that led up to this thing, inciting people to do things like this? It just doesn't make any sense. You know, I can't have my way, so nobody gets to live. That's not a very good answer. Because I don't know that he's going to get to live either. Arizona's got a death penalty, I'm pretty sure, and they find him guilty. I mean, you know, here was a dumb statement in the paper says they found evidence that he intended to kill her. Well, when you put a Glock 9mm up on somebody's side in his head and shoot a bullet through it, that already is intent to kill it in my book, you know. It's not that there was any mistake about him wanting to kill her. He certainly wouldn't want to injure her by shooting her in the head point blank almost.
Okay, what was the premonition for this? What was the
newspaper article said they have found evidence that he intended to kill her. No kidding. You know, the intention was right there when he shot the gun into her head. That's intention to kill.
You mean they're still wondering if he had intention to kill her? They're wondering that? They're asking,
This one was started real 2 days ago, Monday's paper.
oh, isn't that funny? It's
They
like,
intended to kill her. No kidding.
it's funny they say, oh, the alleged killer. I love this alleged killer. No, he shot somebody. This guy shoot. How can that be?
There's eyewitnesses all over the place, and he's not alleged anymore. I mean, the bullet that killed her came out of his gun. Everybody's seen it come out.
I love that when they say alleged, because it's like, you know, what do you want? What more makes evidence, you know? It's like,
There's always the conspiracy theorists, you know, that say, well, it could have been a conspiracy. Maybe somebody else was involved with him, but still, no, he's the killer, you know. I mean, he's the main man. So, yeah, it's, you know, some of the papers, you read some of these headlines, you wonder why the world is so stupid, but it seems to be.
you
It's just
know,
like the snow. I was talking with the financial advisor about this snow. I don't mind the snow. I mind all this salt they put down, making slush out of it, and wrecking the water, wrecking the streets, wrecking our garage floors, and wrecking our cars. I said, they didn't have salt back in the days when I started driving. We only had two-wheel drive cars. It's the only kind I've ever had. We're in two-wheel drive. You know, I've never been stuck any place, and I've been into a lot of situations with snow over a lifetime. I've been driving since I was 11 years old, and I never got stuck, you know, with truck. I never had an SUV. I never had a four-wheel drive vehicle. So tell me that all this is necessary. It's bullshit. You know, somebody's cried, he got something just to cry about. What put the soul on my street and plow? You know, put on that. You know, it's only an inch snow. You can drive over it. Don't melt. But it's stuff like that. It's stupidity on people's part that it costs us all the way around. You see it every day. You know, you almost look any place and see the stupidity. But it ain't going to get cured real fast. Our kids are not getting smarter in school. But you can rant and rave about it. It doesn't do any good either. So my big thing in life is to try and make a more utopian world, to make things better for my grandkids, not more rich. I'm talking about living a more utopian life, that they are happier. And I don't even want them to get rich, because I think riches brings sadness. So I want them to have enough money to get by and enjoy life and not have these frickin' stupid wars of us killing other humans. I need the population to be controlled somewhat, because people need to do this themselves. This thing in church is preaching having lots of babies. It's separation of church and state, you know. It's not eradication of religion that I would like to see in my lifetime, to make this more utopian world. Because another assault vehicle in the target lot with a plow in the front, he spreads salt all over the place too. But anyway, I got to run in and get some cars and get going by 4 o'clock, so I'm going to have to go do that right now. But so I didn't get the job, but I will keep my ears peeled in case something else comes up and you find somebody. I'll know what the score is. So
what do you think about this Tony thing? It just makes me a little uncomfortable having to, like,
I wouldn't feel uncomfortable about it. You know, I'd go with the Tony.
All right.
Now the salt guy is parked right behind the car. I don't know I guess he's going up there. He goes with salt. No, I don't know. I think that's just, you know, avoiding a conflict with the Chris thing. You know, it's up to you how you want to play it. You know, it really is.
I had this segment earlier today. I don't know if you got 5 more minutes, but just give me your thoughts. You know, just with the thing that happened down south, with the frustration that can get built up, I've been dealing with a judge. I guess judges have immunity in their decision making, so I can't, like, sue them for their corruptness. And
that's true.
And I thought I'm just on the.
You got a chance at the voting booth to depose them, but nobody ever does that. You know, do you want to retain this judge or don't you? Yeah, everybody always wants to retain the incumbents.
So I'm like, you know, with that kind of, I'm telling the lady, the court administrator, I'm like, you know, with that kind of frustration, is it any surprise that judges get shot, right? And it's like, whoa, all of a sudden.
You don't want to say that to those people, because they take that serious as a threat, you know, right off the bat.
I know, that's what I found out. I mean, it's like.
Yeah. That's like saying, hijacking the airport to your friend, you know. You don't want to say that word, you know, you call him Jackson or Jay or something else, but you can't say hijack, because they take that right off, their ears perk right up on those kind of deals.
But I'm just stating as a matter of factly, you know, as these things can happen. But boy, yeah, you're right. It just went haywire, and so it's.
Yeah, they will go nuts on a deal like that. That's true.
So that made for my bad day, because I didn't really intend on doing that.
Yeah, well, I get it. You know, like you say, you have to watch your words anymore about whatever you say any place. It seems like it.
Yeah.
It's freedom of speech, but it's not free to use the speech any way you want to. You know, there's certain places you can use it, certain places you can't.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Anyway,
I'm too outspoken myself a lot, you know, and people criticizing for it. Well, that wasn't nice to say. That might not have been nice, but it was honest.
Yeah.
Now, I know they're sensitive to comments like that, like say around airports and anything in the political system you have to watch anymore. Now, especially since the Soviets didn't have it. So I'm going to walk in while we finish the conversation here.
I'll let you go. I'll just,
All right.
just going to see, mention my excitement for the day, accidental excitement, and anyway, so I'll talk to you. You got to go then, right?
Yeah, I'm marching into the store right now, so I can get those home, and
I'll talk to you later.
I got to stop at the post office yet too and drop some stuff in and get it in the mail. All right, well, we'll keep you posted on whatever's going on, and maybe you can get down here when the weather's better anyway for us, doesn't it?
Okay.
All right, talk to you later, Chris.
Bye.
Let me know if the name change goes, or you're going to stick with the Tony, so I know how to play that.
Yeah, for now.
Send me an email and leave it at Tony.
All right.
Okay, gotcha.
Thanks.
All right, bye.
Bye.
That unconditional love from someone, you know, it's hard when you're our age. I think it is. I think it's hard when you have children because, you know, people don't communicate well enough. And it's not, you know, the funny part about me is I really, you know, out of the whole 11 years that I've been divorced, I've only lived with one guy for 4 months, and I knew it was wrong, so then I moved right back into town and haven't. I couldn't tell you the last time that I ever laid by someone for more than 2 days in the past 10 years. I mean, I've never been with anybody, you know, a week at a time. You know, I haven't. I just haven't had it. So, and that's okay. I mean, I'm okay with it, I guess. You know, you can't change the past. So.
Well, we're I don't know, maybe we're destined for each other. We're sort of like got similar story. I don't know. It's just I have trouble finding anybody myself. So maybe we're maybe we're destined. I don't know. It's just what's your is the picture in your picture there? Is that your natural hair color?
I'm a brunette.
You are brunette.
I do color. I am. Yeah.
We-
Can I do color? Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I do highlight my hair, and I do like blonde highlights in it. I do. I mean, that's probably the only thing that I do for myself. You know, is color my hair.
Yeah.
Which one can
I'd like to. I'm sorry.
Which one can you see? Because
I just I was just wondering. I've actually never met. Well, I rarely meet non-brunettes that like me, so that's why I was curious. And I would actually. I do appreciate brunettes more. So I don't know. I want to see what your hair color is like sometime, but I might ask, maybe you can dye brunette for me. I don't know, but yeah, I want to see what it's like in person or sometime.
Okay. Why don't you, are you still on it? Look, I just put every image that I had downloaded on there, and I have more pictures now. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them on there. And the one by the Christmas tree is taking Christmas Eve, because it was by myself.
Oh yeah, you did put some more up there, yeah.
Yeah, I did. So you see the boys and I.
Yep.
That was this summer. All of them are very,
Yeah.
very,
Yeah, I can tell you. I mean, I can sort of tell that. That's why I was wondering if you're a natural brunette. Well, not to mention your kids' hair color, but that's why I would question it. I also think that brunettes look better as a brunette to match your face. Like that's what I was wondering about you. In other words, I can sort of tell when a lady's dyed her hair, and I'm almost always accurate too when I ask them. There's a certain the facial look doesn't match the hair color.
Well, you want to know something? My sister, who is a blonde, her and I wear the same color of foundation. And she's a blonde. And brown eyes. And my sister's really pretty.
Foundation? You mean makeup? You mean makeup?
Yeah, makeup. Yep. So do you actually have an email address? Do you want me to actually send you pictures of my family? Or not yet?
Yeah, do you want my email? You can have it.
Yeah, can you type it in there? Are you still up?
Yeah, just one
I'll type it
second.
in and I'll just copy it. And I'll actually go into, okay. I can copy this now.
Incrediforce is the name of my company.
Business.
Yeah, business.
I'm going to have to write this down. I'm not going to be able to copy it, I think. Is it a capital T and capital R in your email?
But it doesn't matter. It'll get to me. It's small.
Okay.
You don't have to get the case in there.
Okay. I'm going to I have a Yahoo address, so if you get a message from, and I think it probably will have my name on there too. I'm sure you're a lot faster than I am. So is Willer your last name then, Tom?
Yep.
Okay.
Nickname is Steam.
What's that? I'm sorry.
Steam, like a steamroller.
Your middle name is?
No, that's my nickname, Steam.
Oh, that's your nickname, Steve. So is it Anthony or Tony or what do you go by? I mean, I know you go by Tony, but
Anthony can work. Yeah. So,
I think I might. I'm just looking to see if I have my sister on here. If I don't, I can certainly. Oh, there she is. I'll just send you a picture of Mom and I and my sister Rose and Lorna, and then I'll send you a picture of the. Well, that's not a very good picture. picture. It's kind of a picture of a picture. Oh, here, I'll send you Rosemary, which one? Yeah, I got it. Because I went to her house and colored her hair for her before she had to start her treatment. Might take a while. My computer's kind of slow. For some reason, they couldn't. I had ITC come over. ITC is our internet telephone company, and I tried to get them to put a kind of a protector on our wireless internet so our neighbors couldn't grab the service, and it wouldn't work on my computer, which is dumb. I don't know, he couldn't understand why. So,
I can probably fix that. I don't know. It seems like an easy thing to do. I don't understand that, but so I'll be over in about an hour and a half.
Did you look up Clear Lake from Redwood?
Say again?
Did you look at the?
Yeah, it's like 90 miles. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit of a hike, you know.
Yeah, it is. It is. So do you DJ alone, or do you have someone that helps you, or? So I would take it that you like to. I can't remember if you said you like to dance or not. You have to if you play music.
Well, yeah, I do like to dance. Yeah. Well, did you say something about help?
Help. Does anybody help you? Are you on your own?
Oh, yeah, I live in an apartment by myself, yeah.
Yeah. But as far as your entertainment, your karaoke, your DJing, you do it by yourself?
Oh, I don't run a show. I just go to it.
Oh, you go to
Yeah,
them?
I just go to
Oh, I see. Okay. I actually thought this was part of your business, too.
Well, it's I mean, it says Freakified Entertainment. I guess that is a good thought. You're actually I never thought about that, but yeah, that looks like I'm running a business. I am sort of I'm trying to build that up into some kind of entertainment avenue.
Okay.
My stage name is Benjamin Mover. So I have so it's like So did you email me then, or what?
Yes, I did.
Oh. Oh, I gotta tell you this. My daughter's middle name is Carmel.
Oh, that's pretty.
Well, when you take Carmel Roller, get it?
Okay. Wow. You also send me pictures of your kids sometimes. I bet they're really cute.
We should exchange Facebook information, I suppose.
Okay. Do you go by Tony Roller too then on your Facebook? Oh, it didn't go. What did I do wrong? got the end, so I'll resend it to you, okay? Shall you?
Did you want to exchange Facebook?
Sure.
That's where, I've been experimenting with different, sort of like I say, I got a stage name. Also, I use my middle name for Tony's my middle name, Anthony, and
Okay.
my first name is Chris, and
Okay.
I go by both.
Mhm.
So it'll be Facebook will be Chris Roller. I'll
Okay.
give you that in a second. Oh. Still there?
Mhm. Mhm.
Oh boy. This is
You know how many Chris Rollers there are?
yeah, look up Christopher Roller. Christopher Roller.
Christopher. Okay. Okay.
This is I think my kids are on there.
Oh, okay.
At least my son Dylan's on there. Yeah, Nicole's on there too. Yeah. Dylan, I wanted to get Dylan, my son Dylan. Well, I guess you need to wait for you to get my. I don't know if you'll be able to see my pictures until I get you as a friend.
Right.
I'm a little embarrassed about my first name. That's why I use Tony. And when you get to know me, fully know me,
Mhm.
that's probably when you're gonna hesitate talking to me again. So that's why that's why I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous. I don't know if I sound nervous, but I am. I'm nervous.
So did you get my request down yet? Nathan Dillon has one. Your daughter.
There we go. I got you added. Okay. So yeah, I don't know if you can see it in my profile now, but
Oh, that was just when you were in the Bahamas.
no, it's probably
Okay.
within a year old.
Okay.
Dylan and Nicole are my kids.
Mm-hmm.
Where's my photos here? Photos. It's just a matter of time before you hang up on me.
No, it's not.
No, I don't know. I have an interesting story about. I have an interesting life story. Have you ever seen the movie The Truman Show?
No, I haven't.
Oh.
Well, you know, is that where he kind of lives just in a block area of some sort, or just nothing? I mean, he doesn't go outside the circle.
Yeah, he lives in a dome. He's in a big dome, and
Okay.
Everybody's an actor, right?
Okay.
Everybody's an actor, and then he finally figures it out at the end, you know, and remember at the end he's kind of sailing, and he punctures the dome with his sailboat.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember that or not, but
No. No. And that's how you feel your life is?
well, there's a little bit of a strange thing about this. Take the word Truman,
Okay.
break it up into 2 syllables.
Yeah, true, man.
True man. It's based on a true man.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that movie was made because of me.
Okay.
And that's pretty weird. It's and so
Go ahead.
so that's that can be pretty weird for somebody to hear that.
Well, you know, and I wouldn't, you know, how to be able to make a call on that because I haven't seen the whole movie. I mean, I honestly haven't.
Yeah, it wasn't actually. I wasn't actually in the movie. It's just.
Oh, I know that.
It's
I
just
know
based.
that.
It's based on a true man, and I'm pretty sure I'm the guy. But the
Okay.
thing is my show is still going on. In other words,
Right.
it's still going on. People are still acting. And I'm not saying you're one of them. But that the people that come into my lives is usually an important figure of some sort. And whether it be good or bad is always to be determined. And, you know, you seem like a good person. I say, I just a little scared. I'm a little scared that I see people just completely go off the radar whenever I tell them some of this stuff, and so it makes me a little nervous, you know. Anyways, did you see my friend? Did you see Dylan? Did you see my son Dylan and daughter Nicole?
I have.
Oh, you see him? Okay, Dylan. Guess what about him? Now, I tried to give him a middle name of Hye, Hye, high roller, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Now check this out. Check out why I was going to do this. And because he was born on 7/11, he's going to be a high roller, right? He's going to be a crap shooter, right? 7/11.
Sure. Sure.
Turns out he was just shooting crap that day.
Huh.
That when he was born, you know, shooting crap.
Okay. And that's what you were doing too? You weren't.
No, that's what a baby does when they're born. They're shooting crap.
Okay.
That was my joke. I thought it was just so cool. I just thought it was so cool that my son would be born on to give him a middle name High Roller. My wife didn't quite have the sense of humor. I kind of caught this like a day after he was born, and she had already had the paperwork in for his middle name. I guess if I really would have pushed it, she would have done it, but it would have been a pretty cool middle name, you know. And it was just so appropriate because he was born on 7/11, right? How more? As just said, you know, just say God works in mysterious ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's you know, things happen for a reason. I've had so many interesting coincidences that, you know, I mean, my son born on 7/11 to give him give him the high roller, right? I mean, that's just it seems like an amazing coincidence.
Mhm. Mhm. Hey, what about me? My wedding anniversary was September 11th.
Oh yeah.
Is that not good?
Warning! Warning!
I know. But everybody, when were you married? September 11th, 82? Oh, really? Mhm. I see that we both sometimes put our message from God on our page too.
Yeah, well, that's something else.
You should read just what mine says here that I'm going to post. If you can see it. I haven't got it there yet.
Let's see what do we got.
I don't know why my page here is down to 100%.
What's your last name again? Oh, there it is, Kimbeck. Okay.
How
How you pronounce that?
do you,
Is it
Bakey?
Bakey? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the message from God. That's going around.
Mm-hmm. I usually look at it every day and try to, well, I shouldn't say every day, I try. Did you read it?
The message from God.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you made that message?
Did I do what?
You made
did
that.
I read it?
You made that message?
No, I did not.
Oh.
When you click on your, I signed up for it, you know, God wants you to know. It's an application that you can sign up for, and then I do.
Yeah.
I always look at it. And if it's anything, that's the only thing I do on here. Have you looked at my pictures then?
Let's take a look.
And you can ask any questions.
Where's the naked ones?
That's not the question I thought you were going to
Oh, I can't ask us any question. I can't ask any question. And and you didn't specify how to be appropriate questions either, you know. So, you know.
Where can I get to my photos anymore? Oh, here we go. Yeah, some of them I could just take off. There's someone on there that somebody just tagged me in. I should take them off my wall.
Yeah, I'm checking them out here. Yeah. I don't have very many pictures of me up there. It's amazing green man suit, yeah?
That's Kurt. That's my son.
Okay. Is that the Incredible Hulk, or is that just a green man, or what?
It's a Morphin suit.
Morphin.
He just picked out the Morphin suit, and he just ordered the green one for himself.
Okay, I see that. Yeah.
I don't think he had any intentions to be in the big green giant or the Incredible Hulk. It just turned out to Get out of the way. Oh my. I am looking at Kurt's baby picture and my baby picture, and I cannot believe how much we look alike. Oh my goodness. Huh. That is sweet. I didn't realize that. Huh. My babies were cute. And my babies are still cute.
So there we go. And you still haven't hung up on me. That's a good deal. That's a good deal. I have to admit, I do feel better. One thing you should, I don't know if you can see my, what is it called, the news feed? Yeah, see here.
The wall.
My wall, yeah. Look at my wall.
And
You're about to see a tragedy coming up here.
Well, I was going to read that. I read that. Your sister.
Yeah, I was gonna mention
On November 27th, they found her.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's why I was curious about your Colorado connection, because your mother, is your aunt who's up there?
My mom.
Yeah, she may have heard about that. That's kind of big news in Colorado. So that's why I was asking about that. I wasn't going to quite mention it yet, but pretty sad deal. It looks like the husband did it.
Oh dear.
It's really yeah, I can't even find the link. I don't even know how you saw it, but I can't even find mine. That's newsfeed. I got to find the wall. Where's the wall at?
If you were to look just in your profile, then you will just see the stuff on just yourself. That is really sad. So.
Yes, we have a memorial. It's rememberstephanie.org. It was, for a while, it was findstephanie.org. We couldn't find her, and then it's just.
And this is your sister dancing on YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh, and that's just the guy that she's partnered with dancing. That's not her husband, right? Or whoever. Maybe it's not a guy. Maybe it's two girls. Kelly and Stephanie.
So.
That's those two girls dancing. Just having fun. Which one is your sister?
Stephanie.
The one in the boots. I can't tell if that's. I'm assuming that's two girls dancing.
Yeah, it is two girls. Yep.
Yeah. So which one is she then?
Well, the sandy hair. I'm not sure what you're seeing, but I'm guessing they're both pretty skinny. She's pretty skinny.
Well, one's got short hair and one's got a little bit longer hair.
Longer hair.
Not short.
Longer hair.
Okay, so she's in the blue in the pants, and she's skinnier than the other girl.
Yeah, she's pretty skinny. Very skinny, actually.
So what do you think that her husband did to her? Or don't you know? You don't have to talk about it.
Oh, it's.
You don't have to.
Yeah, it's yeah, I no longer cry anymore. It does, and it makes me mad, but not because of Dale. not because of what he did, but just because there was a lot of warning signs that other people could have prevented this from occurring. If he did do it, it's there was just a lot of input from other people in my family that maybe could have seen this coming, or at least acted a little different way. It's Steph was acting inappropriate in some manners, and my family was an advocate of that inappropriateness. Somewhat of an affair going on, and my mother was an advocate of that. And I didn't find out about anything going on until she turned up missing, and then I found out about her past. I did not know she was going through a divorce. I did not know she had marital problems. I didn't know that there was some prior abuse. I didn't know anything, and all my other family members knew. Steph kept me out of the loop because she may have been embarrassed or something. She kept me out of the loop. And anyways, so I didn't know this, and then I find out that my mother was an advocate of her having an affair, and Steph was acting in many ways that would upset a guy, in many ways that would, I guess, piss him off over the edge, I guess. And hard to believe that he could do this, but it looks like the husband did it. So, it's I really miss her. She's one of I was pretty close to her. I mean, I was close spiritually to her. But we didn't get on the phone very much. Like I said, it's one kind of a relationship where no news is good news. Where if I'm not hearing anything, it means that she's having a good life. And I did not know any of this crap was going on. So yeah, it's
So she was a dance instructor?
She could have been one. She was involved in the dance teaching. She's a tutor and helping people.
Are you still there?
Am I still here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Is my phone cracking up or what?
Well, no, I think my phone is actually.
No. I have Skype. No. Skype can be pretty sometimes. Sometimes it can be echoey or something. Let me know if you're having some problems.
No, actually, I think my cell phone is going to go dead, so I'm going to go look for my charger.
It's not you, it's me. It's not you, it's me.
No. No. Being that I was texting with Sue and yakking on the phone, there's a chance my phone could just, I won't even get the beep, it'll just shut off. So, I'm just going to see. I'm here somewhere. I just have to turn the light on in my kitchen. Oh. But I probably should go to bed pretty soon because I will have a long night and traveling. Okay, you're still there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm very, very, very sorry about your sister. When my brother got married to his wife, we all went up to, I'm going to plug my phone in here in a second. We met his wife's family from Wisconsin, and when my brother and my sister-in-law were visiting my mom in Aurora, because his father Pat's dad was, slipping away and he was going to die, and Pat wanted to see him before his dad passed away. When they were in Aurora, Colorado, they had gotten the news that Anne's niece had been murdered. She was celebrating her 21st birthday or her sister's 21st birthday, and she ended up, I don't know, she got kidnapped, or she went with this guy, or he drug her to the car or whatnot, but he beat her to death and left her body lay in the steps of this church. And she had tried calling her mom about 2:30 in the morning, and her mom didn't hear the phone ring. But when they found her cell phone, they knew that she was trying to call her mom. And it happened in La Crosse, Wisconsin. And I'm trying to think of her name, but just tragic. I mean, my dad's oldest sister the family seems to think that he killed her, but he was cleaning out a gun, and he said it was accidental, but everybody in the family feels like he did it on purpose, So what are they doing with how is your brother-in-law acting? Or haven't you talked to him?
My siblings were sticking up for him. It's one of these where he's acting pretty normal, and my siblings he's acting so normal and so grievous that my sisters were sticking up for him when I was accusing him of doing this, and I was getting crapped upon by my siblings for accusing him of this, and then now the evidence is coming out, and it looks like I was right, but now I'm sticking up for him because, partially because I understand I guess he got pissed off, and I guess I kind of understand. I mean, like I say, I can't believe it, but at the same time, I guess you got to be there. I guess if stuff was really pissing him off, I suppose, it's just, and some part of me understands that if I could have offered Steph some advice, it would be, wait. First of all, don't get a divorce. Second, if you're going to have an affair, wait till it's after the divorce. But those are all too late because I didn't know this was happening. And that's why I'm a little bit unhappy with my siblings, because they had input in her life and they were giving her improper input. So, it's just horrible. I wish I could resurrect her, and I wish I could resurrect my sister. I really do, because I don't want my brother-in-law to go to jail. I wish I could undo the whole damn thing so that nobody gets in trouble. And I wasn't that close to my brother-in-law, but I wasn't phone calling my sister either that much, and so it was a relationship where no news is good news, and I thought everything was cool between me and him, and it's just a really just a sucky thing that occurred.
Definitely. How old was she?
41.
41, and how many children?
3, and they're still young, 9, 6, and 5. It's just
unreal.
It's unreal. It's right. This is stuff that happens to somebody else, not to me, right? I mean, this is euphoric, and I was pinching myself for a few days there, saying, this cannot be happening,
Wow.
Yeah. So that's that makes for a pleasant phone call, doesn't it, between us? Huh?
Like, it's just tragic. I just feel, and I don't even know you, and I just can't imagine. I mean, when my sister found out she had cancer, I have not cried so much in my life as I did this past summer. I mean, I was just always crying. Always crying in fear of losing her, and my 12-year, Kurt, my son, when my older son got hurt here, it'll be 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, and I have to look back and think, somebody hit him and shattered the right side of his face, and the doctor told me that, Scott had a good chance of getting, meningitis if one of those bones would happen to puncture his brain, and he could die. And I was really, sad about that, and sad that, that, Scotty was a homecoming king and very good-looking kid, and somebody just pissy at him and hit him and could have killed him. And very sad to go through it. And I cried and cried and cried because it changed his luck. And Kurt asked me one day, he goes, Mom, I wish you would just quit crying. And I said, Kurt, it's hard. And he goes to me, he goes, Mom, he goes, it may have changed Scott's looks, but it didn't change his personality. And I thought, you know what? The kid's right. He is so right. Scott is still Scott. But it did change his looks, but he's still Scott. And I just, I just pray for Rosemary all the time. Anything that I can possibly find on clearance that says the word hope, she gets it. I bought us matching necklaces that say hope and it's got a ribbon on it, for cancer. And we both, when she first found out that she had this rare cancer and knew that the prognosis was poor, I was trying to talk her into downloading some Christian songs that she could listen to on, well, it's not really an iPod, but something else. And I just wanted her to find comfort in a song, and it was just hard. We both broke down so bad that I have to just base all of this on hope. You just have to, and take every day that you have, and call her and send her a message or, something. She tries to make it to Kurt's games, which I think is awesome. She hasn't been to his games since she's been done with his treatment, but she made almost every football game. But she's, the outlook on life for someone that may be told that they're terminal, it changes everybody, but we still have a tendency to take things for granted a lot. I just can't imagine. I lost a brother, but he was 15 and I was only 4. And I remember very, very little of him. My dad died in my arms. I couldn't get him to the hospital. My little niece almost died in my arms, and I handed her back to Rosemary, and she took one more breath and died in her mommy's arms.
Yikes.
Whether you got 4 hours with somebody or you have 68 years with somebody or, your age, it's just life is precious, and I can't imagine being taken away in the hands of another human. It probably was an accident. Possibility. But it's such a shame.
With you talking about your niece? An accident?
Your sister.
Stephanie. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just
maybe she'll come to you and let you know how it happened.
I think this story with Steph is I just don't see it being a normal encounter. Even how do I say this? It's going to be it's going to be at least on Lifetime, and perhaps even some kind of movie, perhaps. I don't know. It just seems like this is the makings of something, you know.
hmm So are you writing down everything that you can recall and remember?
Oh yeah, yeah,
You are? Okay.
yeah.
Hmm. Wow. Yeah, Mom probably has read about it. She gets the Denver paper. Yeah. But you know what? I gotta crash. I know I'm gonna have a long day tomorrow with the games and like an hour and a half away. But what is it, 2 hours? I'm gonna have to figure out the transportation if I can get someone to take me or I drive myself. So thanks for calling again.
Yeah. So we'll talk. You're pretty tied up tomorrow, so maybe we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, you got a game. You'll be back late probably. So,
Yeah, it would be late, yeah. I'm thinking, because game starts at 5:15. I think 5:15. Oh, I have to check the calendar or the schedule again. I'm gonna have to go on math class and see how far it is away. I mean, I do have a couple couples that allow me to ride with them. I mean, it just doesn't make sense for, everybody to drive by themselves. And I offered to pay their way into the games, and they haven't yet, taken any money from me, which, I mean, if they're heading up, I'm really quite fun to be around.
yeah.
And we had a blast last time coming back from our last game in Arlington. It was just a hoot coming home. And what was so funny is the couples that were together, they have Verizon on their cell phone service, and I didn't know that you could type something in and Verizon will actually read it back to you. And so Teresa was going to be funny with Neil, which would be Holly's husband. And so she said, give me Neil's cell number. I want to send him a message. And she meant to send the message, let's talk dirty.
Okay.
Well, when he got the message, it said, let's talk dirt.
Well.
Because she spelled dirty wrong.
Okay.
And it came out dirt. So then we were just, calling him dirt all night long. And just, little things that just make you laugh. It's fun. I like being around people, and I like to laugh. I don't like to be sad, that's for sure. I've had my share of that. I'm just waiting for something good to happen. The old minister used to come in and say hi to me, and I had gone to a different church in Brookings for about a year and a half. And he would come in and he would tell me that he was still praying for me, and I kept on telling him, that it would be really nice. He goes, I keep hoping that you have somebody good in your life. And I said, I pray for that too. His name is Sam. I said, I pray for that too, Sam. But I think I'm a little bit too scared to ask God for a husband, though. He just started laughing. You always want somebody good in your life. There's no doubt. You don't want bad. You want good. You just hope for the best. And I am really sorry about your sister.
Hey, thank you. You still, so I'm glad you haven't hung up on me yet. That's good news. I'm thrilled. The name thing was, I'm still getting used to Tony because I still feel like a Chris, but I'm trying to get used to Tony because it's just I'm just trying to get used to both. I sort of need Chris is sort of Superman, and I need a Clark Kent identity named Tony to be the mild.
Tony the Tiger.
To be the mild mannered Clark Kent, right? And then so that's.
Well, you know what? You just need to be who you want to be and not worry about anybody else, you know, trying to make you be anybody but yourself. You know, if people can't accept other people, then, you know, they have issues. You know, everybody has, like you said the other night, you have baggage. Everybody has baggage. Everybody does. You know, I've never done drugs. I've never been to jail. I've never had a speeding ticket, never had a ticket. Haven't knock, been in an accident. But I've made mistakes. I'm not perfect, and I'm far from it. And, so, ta-da! I'm just human.
Jim, yeah, you are certainly. I'm so glad you came into my life. I've been searching for somebody as cool as you. Yeah, I was gonna make a joke about my performance in the bedroom. Hopefully that doesn't disappoint you, you know. But anyways, I always have to divert. I've got this filthy mind. I'm sorry about that. But
show me a man that doesn't.
right, it's kind of like if you didn't hear something like that, you think I might be gay or something, right?
Exactly. I'm trying to clarify that. Like my best friend says, I'm not into chicks. No, this is my best friend saying this. This isn't me, because she's quite bold, and she always goes, "Silly rabbit, I'm not into chicks. I'm into dicks." She's just crazy. She's crazy. I miss her, and I'm so glad that she called me tonight too. We actually talked on the phone 3 times tonight, and I miss her friendship. I miss our, you know, I was going to say I miss our times of getting into trouble, but it's more like I miss our times of her getting into trouble. She's done some wild and crazy things, and that's okay. I still love her no matter what she's done. I'm not going to judge her for any fun times she's had, or I just, you know, don't care when she comes back and tells me every position she was in. I really don't want to hear that, but I'm glad she has fun. Like, okay, we're so close together, but yet we're just total opposites. And you'll see her in some of my Facebook pictures. Her name is Shelley, and there's a couple of them together.
Does she have the positions that she is in too?
Did she have what?
The positions she was in?
Well, there'd have to be several if there was. Oh, man. Yeah, she was telling me about this one guy that she was with, and he was actually doing, like, had her partly on the bed, and his upper body was on the dresser, and he was doing push-ups on her, and it's like, I don't need to know that. But damn, he must be strong. I'm like, if that would be me and my head would be over the bed, I'd be puking. Damn vertigo. Anyway, with those thoughts, I better get my butt.
I cannot wait to get you puking.
No, you don't. I don't want to be puking. I will be dead tired. If I have to take my medication, I will be out for days. If I actually take my actual medicine from the doctors, I will be so tired. You won't even get to talk to me for 2 days.
When's the last time you took it? Took that kind of medication?
Probably 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's-
Really, there's a lot of them on life, huh?
Well, no, well, I mean,
Start rolling around for a while.
Well, I wasn't thinking that, yeah, but I guess that has been the reason. No, I didn't know how often this vertigo comes along, but, so it's it's the wild banging action that gets the vertigo going, huh?
Well, no, it doesn't even have to be that. I can just simply lay down and load on my left and be busy.
Oh, yeah.
It just all depends on the brunt of it. I mean, to me, sometimes when I have that happen, I always try to tell people it's kind of like having a seizure in a sort of way, but it just drains my brain when I get dizzy. It just drains it. And it doesn't happen often, but when it does, it just drains me. Because it just makes you nauseated. And I've only, you don't want me puking, but I've only puked with it, a couple times in my life. But that, I tell you, I never want to go through again, ever. You can spin, but my body was flipping. That's how bad it was. And I felt like I was flipping in the air. Yeah, and it was not fun. I mean, I don't know. At that point, I didn't know what was going on with me. So, anyway, I still have to get some sleep, okay?
Okay, so, yeah. So, next time. Talk to you later.
Okay, good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, one thing was, it's kind of information that was told to me. I guess it's kind of something that's not supposed to be really known, but it turns out, I don't know if you know it, I'm guessing you probably already know this. It's kind of like the latest thing that's, I don't know, there's this game in which you can't say information. I hear this information, then it's like you can't tell anything, but I guess Steph was found with her in her nightgown.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, you heard that. All right.
Yeah.
And it's something that's it's one of those things that's like, that's one of the problems I'm complaining about is why the game, for one, about like not being able to share that, and then two, why the game of not telling us that like day one,
Well, maybe I'm going to transfer you over to my other ear. I think that they don't want that, the police don't want that to be public knowledge, okay? And, they're trying to build a case, and I think you know as much about this as I do. Honestly, I got that from Kathy, I think the day you guys had a conference call, and I don't know if you were in on that conference call or not.
No.
But anyway, that's all that I know about it, and I think that they just finally decided to give that information to your family. That's all, But they're trying to build a case, and that, like if you went and told the Denver Post or something, and that was published, it would hurt the case. I mean, the thing about it is the less that it's made public, the easier it is to get an unprejudiced jury, And so I think that's where the police are coming from on this. And,
Now that's the first time somebody's made sense. I actually called the police chief and asked him why he couldn't tell us that. The problem is that I think we look like fools because we're sitting there speculating. Oh, she's probably out for a walk with her, going to meet her friends, and something happened. No, it turns out she's in her nightgown, and it looks like that. It looks really bad for Dale. And Carrie's been defending Dale this whole time, and now she hears this, and now everybody's looking like a, everybody's looking like a fool, sort of,
Yeah. I'm going to transfer you over to my other ear. I've had trouble hearing in my left ear, and I thought I'd try it, and I'm not doing very well. My left ear's been plugged up. Now I'm listening in my good ear. But anyway, yes, you know, I think it's just something that you're going to go through on this. Yeah, you're going to do a lot of guessing, and that answer that certainly made it pretty clear that Stephanie didn't leave that house with anything more than her nightgown on, and certainly narrows that right down to Dale, you know. And
yeah, it looks really bad now for Dale, and you know, it's just something is strange with this case, you know, because he should be arrested. I don't even understand how he's not arrested at this point, you know.
well, I mean, see, this is where you need to be patient, Chris. I think the police do want a conviction very bad, and they don't want to screw it up. And that's the reason I think they're being very conservative. I really believe that they have got a good case being built up. They're being very conservative, and they're going to take it to the grand jury. The final results of the autopsy are sealed. They're not going to be made public. That's going to go to the grand jury. And I think they're just being very conservative and want very badly to get a conviction. You know, I think that's where the police are coming from. So you're not going to get much information out of them. You know, I think that the last little thing about Steffi being finally not gone is going to be the end of it, as far as information goes, or as far as evidence goes. And I would keep faith in the police. I have a lot of faith in them. I think they took this seriously from the get-go. I think that if you dig up a landfill the size of a football field and go 8 foot deep, I'd say you're making a hell of a serious effort to find evidence and pursue this case. You know, so you know, I think you got to give them credit, and I think that you just got to be patient with them. And I don't have a bit of information more than you. In fact, I get it secondhand from you guys. So
yeah, I'm pretty much secondhand with you. You probably found out before I did, but about that last information. But it's not about I'm patient. It's just, what was I thinking? It's that I think this might be a little more complicated than it may not be. It may not be as simple as Dale did it. That's what I'm guessing. That's why.
Well, no, it is as simple as he did it, and it's yeah. Believe me that from secondhand information that I've got from what the police have told your family, he is the one and only suspect, and it doesn't go any further than that. And you know, and I'll repeat again, they're just being conservative. They want to get the conviction. They don't want to have a trial thrown out because of evidence that has been put out there, published. You know, so they're not putting it out there, you know, to the press. Yeah. I think we were. I honestly think we were very lucky to get the information that we've gotten, but I think that at the time the police gave that information to your family, they thought the results of the autopsy, final results of the autopsy were going to be made public, but they're not. And that would have been in the final results of the autopsy. So anyway, yeah, there's no more to it than that. It's not it's pretty much cut and dried. All the suspicions on Dale. The police feel like they've got a good case. I only got this secondhand from your mother. Yes.
I wanted to pray.
Okay, thank you. But anyway, I got this from your mother. The police said if you knew as much as we knew, you wouldn't be worried about a conviction. We think we're going to get a conviction. So that's pretty much it. And so all I can say is just be patient with it. It's Dale's the one and only suspect, and that's where it's at. You know, and it's going to go to that grand jury unless I don't see where it's going to do anything but go to the grand jury. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. What I was mentioning earlier about, I talked to the police chief, asked him why they give us these morsels. He could have simply said what you said. You make a lot of sense. He could have said, yeah, well, we need information quiet for the jury. It's just, you know, in other words, what you said made sense. Finally, I'm hearing something that makes sense. I guess, what happens in the jury that if information gets out, then the jury becomes partial. Is that right, or what? They become
Exactly. I mean, then you got to find a jury that hasn't heard this news. You know. Yeah. I mean, so yeah, you can't be putting that stuff out there. You know, if you wanna to get a non-prejudiced jury, you can't be making this information public. So they can't make information public. And if there are any little tidbits that they've given to your family, they're taking a risk that it does not become public. They're asking, you know, the members of your family to keep it to themselves, you know, and that's that. Anyway, yeah, I was just going to eat lunch,
okay.
and
well, thanks for talking.
Yeah, call me anytime, and yeah, just be patient with this. And yeah, they're being very conservative. The police are, you know, and the guy that you spoke to may not have known how to phrase it or whatever, but that's where they're coming from. They're being very conservative. They want a conviction, and I am very hopeful. You know, I'm better than 50-50 now that they'll get a conviction. I think the chances are better than 50-50 now. You know, I think there's going to be a conviction out of this. All right.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm still going to try to make it out there in March, April or something, but we'll see here.
All right. You let me know, Chris. All right.
All right. Thanks, Hank.
You bet.
All right. Bye.
For her vocal part, and she shouldn't be doing that. She should have them down by now, because we've actually given her quite a bit of time, and plus those vocal parts are the ones that she's been working on. They're the ones that are all on our tapes, where it's on one side of the tape, her part is on one side of the tape, and the song is on the other. So there shouldn't be any questions as which part she has, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just that she hasn't repetitiously gone over them enough, so it's embedded that part into her head where she just grabs it. But she's getting a little better as time goes on. So just taking a lot longer than we thought. But we're not in there. It's hard for us to judge them because we're not doing what they're doing. So and we know how long it takes to memorize parts and words and stuff like that. So
is she playing? Is she playing anything yet?
She's got like 9 songs that she's supposed to be playing on keyboards, and she hasn't actually done very well. That's probably her weakest thing, where she has a hard time concentrating and singing and playing at the same time. And we really only asked her to do like when Ken has a song, a solo on Authority song or something. We asked her to do the backup chords on the keyboard while he's playing a solo. So most of them are nothing real difficult, and so she's still, I could tell she's not getting them well because she's not practicing them at home, because they're really easy. And she's a pretty good keyboard player where she knows her chords, and she just sometimes she's following her little chart that she's got written out, and then she doesn't switch the chord at the right place. she's relying on her on the chart to tell her how to play it, but she's not went over it enough times to know that you switch at this point and not that, and then she'll miss the chords change, you know, and so I could tell that she's just, I don't know if it was her band that she was in before where they didn't require her to do a lot, or that she didn't have to put a lot of time into it, but we told her, I said, that's not the way this band is. You have to put a lot of time in it and get good at it. So I think that, you know, to both of them, I think it's been a surprise to them on how much work it is to be in a band or in our band. So,
Yeah.
So tell me what's been happening with you with your court case.
Oh, it's not yet. It hasn't happened. It won't happen for a couple weeks yet. But I went. Oh, catch us. Well, I'm gonna come back to the music, but yeah, the court thing. What happened? Remember I was telling you about this traffic ticket, right? This a speeding thing, right? And I was asking for a statement that I was, you know, going 43 in a 30, right?
Oh, is this over in New Ulm?
Yeah, right.
Okay. Yep.
Remember I was telling you about that? And it was like it was like pulling teeth to get them to actually give me a statement. And I was just like thinking, okay, so what's going to happen? I'm going to get over there and they're going to tell me this, and then I drove the whole freaking way just so that they can tell me. Well, it turns out that's the joke that they played on me. I get over there, and they tell, and I get over there, and it was almost like pulling teeth, because they were like, I just need a statement. They were like, do you want to do the trial? We said, we might be able to settle this outside the court. I said, oh, I just need a statement. They showed me the statement that they refused to sign. I said, just get that signed, and we don't need to go in. And he says, well, I guess we'll go in. In other words, they're going to settle it outside the courtroom, right? Outside in the hallway. In the hallway.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah. So, and I'm like, well, just sign it, and then we're good. That's all I've been asking for the whole time, and refused that. So, so we go in, and prosecution talks to the judge, tells us synopsis, and says we might be able to settle this without a trial. We're inside the courtroom now talking about, and I'm like, well, I just need to just swear the officer in. This officer's there now. Just swear him in, and just tell me that I was going 43, and I'll be on my way. and it was like pulling teeth again, and so I again refused. I said, well, listen, he said, well, there's no need to do that. I said, well, if he's lying, then that would be a crime if he's fudging the numbers. And then the judge is like, well, we better do a trial. So in other words, it had to go to that extreme measure in order. So then they finally put him up on the stand, and he said he was up there for about 5-10 minutes. And he finally got to the meat of what I was asking. And then I got he was fishing around 41. He said 41 a couple times, and I'm like, okay, I get to examine him. So I'm like, so you said 41 a couple times. Was the meter, was the radar, was the detector saying 43 when it was tracking me? And he would stall, and he would like shuffle. It was like a stalling thing, and then he would kind of like say, yeah. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Was I going 43 or not? You know? And so I had to like ask it about, I don't know, it seemed like about 3 or 4 times to repeat it. Okay, you kind of, it's more time. So anyways, I had to, and so just as I said, to be clear, okay, I was truthfully going 43 in that zone, right? And he was like saying, well, maybe, we can maybe reduce it down to a little bit if we want to. I'm like, no, dude, I just want to know, was I going 43? It's a I don't want fudging of numbers, and it's a crime if he's doing it. And so he finally, it was like pulling teeth, man. He said it, and I said, well, okay, I plead guilty now. And so then I paid the bill, and it was all over. Can you believe all that shit? unbelievable.
But what did they get you for? 43 then? Did they?
Yeah.
They got you for 43?
Yeah. So I was just the whole time I've been just asking for a statement, and I just shook my head and thinking, all this way just to find this out, and it was just bizarre.
But you know what though? But you know what? Roller, it's possible that he was trying to give you a break by reducing it to 41, and maybe you'd get less of a ticket. I don't know about that.
Well, judge was saying that it's the same price.
Okay.
But
because sometimes they'll reduce the speed if it gives you a break on your ticket cost, you know, to give you a break, you know.
it probably would have only been $10 savings. But if I was going 43, I'll pay the 43. But the question was I going 43? Now there was this talk of 41 twice before I examined them, and I was just like, what's going on here? Was I going 43?
Was it a 35 zone or a 30 zone?
30.
Oh.
It was almost an adventure that I was just almost comical. That it sucked because it's a comic relief in which I got to pay $130. But it's like you couldn't have mailed me that statement. I mean, what in the world is going on?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
when did that happen?
That was last Friday.
Oh.
Yeah. So the court thing, if you want to come, is 2 weeks from tomorrow. And then I've got that's against the church, and then actually the church and that Thursday would be the church and my car smashed.
So which one is first?
I don't know. I mean,
you didn't get nothing in the mail saying what time your trial was?
They're all everybody shows up at 10:30, and then they just have a whatever's.
Well, is your church thing, is that a misdemeanor trial? I mean, it's a conciliation court?
No, it's not a misdemeanor. That's a civil. It's a misdemeanor. I mean, a civil.
The civil one should have had a time assigned to it, though. I would have thought.
No, not in small claims. It's going to be about 10, 15 cases. And everybody shows up, and then they just go in order of whatever order they just choose.
Mm-hmm.
I don't find out till, but that should be interesting. Scott. I'm a firm believer in this truth under oath thing, where nobody can lie under oath, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you do, there is a penalty. It's bad luck. It is bad luck.
That's a penalty, bad luck?
Yeah, it's actually, so what it is it's a perjury is, I guess what sucks is that I guess people can commit perjury in my cases, but they get some bad luck. Bad luck occurs. So anyways, why am I saying that? I'm not sure why I'm saying that, but it's, I'm assuming this thing's working. Now, if the guy on the stand lied about the 43, there's nothing I can do, because he said 43. I didn't plead guilty.
Right. Who's going to know?
Right. That's the best thing that we've got to the truth on the planet is the legal system. That's why it's in place, because they say that nobody's going to lie under oath. Well, in my cases, I have this truth under oath is somewhat supernatural, which actually shuts your mouth up if you're actually going to say something that's a lie. See? So the problem is I think that this thing's in place, and I think I was going 41. That's what when he said 41, I was like, that's what I thought too. But he's fudging the numbers so he get a little bit more, collect a little bit more a fine.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a crime to do that. The moral is that if this truth under oath isn't working, if it's working, it is. There's this evidence that everybody. It's like pulling teeth. It's like getting anybody to sign something or swear something is like pulling teeth. And when I finally get them to say something, and that's a lot of teeth pulling, it like this on this at this trial thing on Friday. Perhaps he was lying, but I can't do anything about that. I do know that there can be some bad luck if you actually lie. There's actually a what am I getting at here? I'm curious if this thing's actually working. For what, 4 years now, Scott, I've been under the impression that nobody can lie under oath in my cases. I have a lot of evidence to support that. Could it just be a freaking coincidence that people just absolutely despise saying anything to me under oath? It could just be a weird coincidence.
Oh.
And that they can lie, but that they just the symptoms of it. It looks like they got something to hide, and they're trying to avoid talking. They look like they're gagged. Everybody looks like they're freaking tongue-tied. Kind of like the movie Liar Liar, right?
Yeah.
And but it's not so comical like in the movie Liar Liar. It's serious where they want to say something and they can't. They have this look in their eyes. They want to say something, but they can't.
Well, if people go into court and they lie and commit perjury, most of the time, 99% of the time when they lie, they're 100% sure in their mind that there's no way that they can get caught.
Right.
And somebody can prove that they're lying. And a lot of times there's some hidden evidence out there that somebody has that can prove that they were lying, you know. So, but my curiosity is what I can't understand what factual evidence or written or solid material evidence that you're going to be able to provide for your case against the church. I mean, it sounds like it's an opinion, and I think that it's going to be one opinion against another, and then the judge is going to make a decision, and, you know, I don't know what proof you're going to have to win that case.
Okay, so I walk in there and I say, I'm Jesus, I'm the Savior, I'm the Messiah.
Yep.
What are they going to say?
They're going to say, okay, if you are, float up in the air. And then you'll say, I can't do that. And then they'll say, well, then you're not Jesus. Case over. You know?
No, why don't you let me answer it? Go ahead and ask me a question.
Okay.
Go ahead and answer it.
Yep.
Yeah, I can. So you said I can float, and I'm going to say, well, what describes that as being proof that I'm the Savior?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Well, then they'll say, well.
No, you say it. You just go ahead and say it.
In the Bible, Jesus floated up to heaven. He went up. He rose after 3 days and went up to heaven. And they'll say, can you do that? Show us you can do that right now, and we'll give you a cut of the collection plate.
And I'll respond.
Yeah.
Where is it said that the Bible is the truth, and yet the Muslim doctrine, what's that called, the Quran, is false? Where does it say anywhere that the Bible is true and the Quran is false?
Right.
Go ahead, answer that.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, but what it's going to boil down to.
Just go ahead and answer it. Go ahead and answer it. I mean, pretend you're in court.
Okay. Well, then I'll say I don't have any proof that what's in the Jewish Bible or the Christian Bible. I don't have any proof that that's true. Any of it is true.
Okay, so then I'll respond.
Yeah. And
I'll respond. I say, well, I have proof of my miracle, and I'm not saying that it's in any book, but my miracle is truth under oath, and that is that you cannot lie. You cannot lie in this courtroom. I challenge you to say that you are John Doe and you are 8 feet tall. Scott.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Right. And so then I say, I'm not John Doe, my name is this, and then I'd tell you the truth, I'm 5'7". And because if I said I was John Doe and I'm 8 feet tall, I'd be lying.
See, so what I'm saying is that you could not lie.
Right. Okay. But what happens if they bring? What happens if they bring?
No,
if they
just,
know
keep responding, just like we're in the courtroom. So you
Okay,
you did not lie. You did not lie. You could not lie. Is that correct? Is that
Right.
correct, Scott?
I couldn't lie. But let me show you a case of someone who did lie. On September 12th.
Scott. Oh, are you pretending you're in the courtroom?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying
Go ahead.
on September 12th, 2009, Joe Blow came into this courtroom and he said that he wasn't any place close to this crime when it was committed on the south side of Redwood, and it was proven that he was 20 feet away in a bush, and he lied under oath in the courtroom. Therefore, it's proof that people lie under oath in the courtroom. So you're wrong.
Okay, let me explain.
Okay.
Nobody can lie in my cases. Nobody can lie under oath in my cases.
In your case.
So I challenge you again, Scott, to go ahead and make a lie. Come up with any lie, and I challenge you that you cannot lie under oath. Go ahead. And by the way, I will not press any charges, and you will not be held accountable for any lie you make in this courtroom.
Okay. Let's see. I will say that I poked 29 girls in my life. And you'll say, is that the truth? And I'll say, I don't know. You tell me. And you'll say, it must be because you can't lie in this courtroom. I'll say, it was 30. You were wrong. I lied. You see?
I can just hear that. That's like a freaking movie. If you come up with that statement, you know, I can see that in front of a judge. You know, I poked 30 girls. I poked 29 girls. Jesus. Oh my God.
You see, I'm just trying to foresee what the possibilities of the court case is going to come out to be. You know. I'm just trying to look at it from a different angle. You're looking at it from one side, but I'm looking at it from a different angle to see what the possibilities are.
Okay, let's stay in character. I just laughing because it was funny, but let's go back into character. I respond and I say that. Well, listen, you know, if you said, Scott, if you said that you poked 29 girls, then I will believe you. Now, I have a statement that you think is true, but I think it's false, and that is, and the statement is, perjury is possible on the planet by more than 1,000 people. So you think that statement is true because you think perjury exists, and I think that perjury does not exist. So if you can state that, then I don't need to go back into your past with the poking and find out all the ladies you poked, and conduct some investigation. What I'm saying is that you cannot say that perjury exists in Chris Roller's cases. So if you can say that, then that will answer a lot of my questions. And I will probably drop this. I will, with one little extra piece, I will probably drop this case. So can you go ahead?
And I would say, Your Honor, I need a continuance of this trial so I can prepare and do some examination of the facts, to go out and get some facts of any of the trials that Chris Roller's been, to prove that there's been some falsification or lying under oath on any of his trials. So then the judge might say, well, I'll give you a continuation for 1 month. So then I go up and I call Celine Dion and say, Celine Dion, did you have a baby with Roller? And then I do some investigating and say, David Copperfield, did Roller, and then if I find one of those guys that lied in any of your cases, then I can use that lie to make this case get thrown out. Is that right or not right?
That's true.
I can find it in any of the cases, all the way from I don't know how many you've had or what they've all been about, but all the ones that you've, if someone on the opposing side lied under oath, then number one, that would show that case was fraudulent anyway, but it would also prove that this one is a loss for you because someone lied under oath about one of your cases. But I don't know if they did. I don't know how I'd be able to prove it unless I went and contacted all those people that you've had. How many cases have you had? You know? I mean, 5, 7,
No,
10?
Probably a dozen.
A dozen. So I would have to contact all those people and find out if any of them ever lied about any of the facts. And then if one of them says, yeah, well, I lied because my name isn't Joe Blow, it's Joe Smith. And so I lied about my name. And then he'll say, okay, can you give me some written proof? And then the guy will say, I'll show you that. And then he gets the recording of the minutes of the court case from the girl that recorded it. And it says, my name is John Doe. But then he gets the real document from the guy that says, I lied and my name is really John Smith. Here's my proof. Here's my driver's license. Here's my birth certificate. He sends it to this guy. This guy says, this guy lied under oath at one of Roller's trials. He said his name was John Doe. His name is John Smith. Here's the proof that he lied. Roller isn't God. And Judge Peterson said, Roller, there's a train going out of town at 5 o'clock. I want you on it. and Crowley will say, I'm going to throw the first log in the fire on the diesel train and help them get going. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
So, what was that proof that you came up with? Say that again.
That one of the guys at one of your trials or whatever it was lied and said his name was John Doe and it was really John Smith, but nobody ever, nobody contested it. So then he said, I lied under oath because I didn't want my wife to find out that my name was really this, because then she'd find out I had another wife. And I had 2 wives, so I lied under oath. And then so I did lie at Roller's case, and I said my name was John Doe, but it's really John Smith. So, and here's the proof. So he would hang himself, and he'd be in divorce court in a week because both his wives find out he was married to somebody else. But at least it would prove that he could lie under oath in a court that you were a case that you were bringing to court. But I don't know if anybody's going to go through all that.
Where do you come up with that fantasy land that they call themselves John Doe? I mean, this is like what the hell, man? Where do you come up with that story that somebody said their wrong name for the purposes of...
I'm coming up with a scenario. I'm just making it up. I don't know if it's true, but I'm telling you what
I can make up something. I got an 8-inch crank. I mean, I can make up stuff too. I mean, why don't we actually find out what's? I mean, isn't there?
I don't. Roller, you're asking me to find out things about your court cases, and I don't have any knowledge of them. But I'm saying if I was the other guy on the other side, I would probably go and do some investigating and find out from some of the other people that you took to court to find out if any of them ever lied. That's what I'm saying. That's
when you ask the judge for continuation, I will just respond that I'll go back into character now and I'll say, listen, that's not appropriate because it's going to take 3 years for Scott Hammerschmidt to come up with those answers, and finding the proof is going to be elusive, and he's making up stuff about my 8-inch crank and people having affairs and being double married, and we don't. He's off in left field. Scott Hammerschmidt's off in left field. What we need to do is let's focus on this court case, and we need to see if he can make it lie. Now, I tell you what would also prove is if Scott Hammerschmidt, the preacher for this church, if he told me that I am not God, then that would also tell me that I have no claim for this to be in this courtroom right now for this case, and I will just drop it. I'll just drop it right off the bat. So instead of continuation, and if it seems like Scott Hammerschmidt's afraid to make a statement, first of all, a lie, which indicates that I'm right, but 2, that he doesn't want to make the statement about perjury existing, which that's suspicious too. But at least maybe he'll tell me that I'm not God. If he can do that, then I'll just drop this case.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Okay. So then the judge would turn to me and say, can you tell Roller under oath here that he's not God? And then if he says, yes, he's not God.
No,
And then
you're going to say it.
Yep, I'll say, he's not God. And then the judge would say, well, why do you think he's not God? Well, he doesn't look anything like the guy I see in the picture. and the judge will say, you're right, he doesn't. Case over. And then you'll say, I object. We don't know if that's a true picture. That was just some Italian guy that painted his face from the description of a guy 2,000 years ago, just describing him. We don't really know if that's what he looked like. Then the judge would say, yep, you're right. Let's try something different. Then I would say, well, he's never came into a hospital room that I've been at and helped me save a person. And then, so I guess I don't think he's God.
If I may respond, Your Honor,
Okay.
When I walk into a hospital, they ask me to leave when they find out who I am. So I'm not given a fair opportunity to make that happen.
Okay. Okay, Ro. Okay. I got to come to this thing and watch. I got to come and watch. I just got to see how Prouty's going to respond, and I got to see how the judge is going to respond. But one thing I wanted to tell you a story about a guy, a friend. Now this is a true story. Okay, I had a friend that came to me, and he was really upset that something happened to him. He was in a place, just coincidental place, and something bad happened to him, and it ended up costing him a whole bunch of money, and he couldn't get anyone to pay him the money for this bad thing happening that was not his fault. And he was really angry at the system because there was no way to go after this person and get the money. And so he had to go into court, and he had to spend all his time to try to prove that what went wrong was no fault of his, and that it ended up costing him a whole bunch of money, and he just happened to be a victim at the wrong place at the wrong time due to some other person's negligence, and he got stuck with a huge bill for something that wasn't his fault. And he thought that was really unfair, and that he should be compensated, but there was no way, and he was really angry about this happening to him. He felt like a victim. And so I'm thinking here, what are these people on the other end of this going to say? Prouty or whoever, Prouty says, we had to hire an attorney. Oh, I don't know if he had to hire an attorney, or if he's going to represent himself. But here he says, I got this pile of weight on my back. I'm trying to run my church, and I got this guy that's haunting me, dragging me into court. I have to take time. I have to spend a bunch of time trying to come up with written proofs for my defense, and all these things, and I have to, just because this guy, and I'm a victim. I'm somebody that's innocent, but this guy's haunting me with all this problems he's causing me, dragging me into court. Okay?
Can I ask, what was the story about? Why was this story, that hardship story, why was that relevant?
Because now this other person, Scott Prouty's got this same kind of hardship story. He's got to go through all this trouble of going into court for something that he believes, and quite possibly could be true, that wasn't his fault, and he didn't mean to do anything wrong. He's just trying to run his church, and all of a sudden he's got somebody that's costing him time and effort and money, and if he's innocent, he's a victim then. He's a victim of Chris Roller's whatever, greed or whatever you want to call it, or ingenuity or whatever it is. He's a victim of this circumstance that came upon him, and he's angry that this happened to him, and he didn't think he deserved it. So just like this other person I'm telling you about, that that was in the wrong place at the wrong time, they're a victim. And I think you know the guy that was in the wrong place at the wrong time. The first story that I told you about, where he was in the wrong place, and he came to his friends and he said, "I'm really angry that I was in this car accident that was not my fault, and now I'm going to have to pay to have my car fixed for $2,100. I'm going to have to go to court, take all my time, and then if I get the judgment for the $2,100, I may not get the money for it anyway, and I'll have to pay to fix the car out of my own pocket, and it was not any fault of my own. And I'm a victim." So what I'm trying to tell you, I'm trying to compare you. You're in the same boat as Prouty is.
Can I respond?
Yep.
Okay, Your Honor. Your Honor, the allegation here is that Scott Prouty, that the preacher here is taking money in God's name and is pocketing it for his own profit, and he's making a substantial living from it, and I am not. Now, if I am Jesus, the Messiah, the Savior, I should be collecting at least a portion of that. I understand that they have overhead costs for that church, but I should at least be getting a portion of that money so that I can help out my ministry, because I am who the people are giving to. So that is fraud. So the allegation here is that the preacher here is fraudulent. And what I need is for them to tell me, if they tell me that I'm not God, then I will believe it. But I'm under the impression that they cannot lie. So if they do say it, then it's the truth. I'll believe it. And if they say it, then I will just dismiss this case. Otherwise, it means that they couldn't lie. They couldn't tell me it was, because it'd be a lie, thanks to my service, and thus victory is mine.
Okay. I have a rebuttal. Okay. I would come and say, okay, Mr. Prouty, what do you do with the money that you receive in your church? And he would say, it gets used to pay the bills, and there's $10,000 left over, and that's my income every year to provide me for doing the work that I do. And then he'll say, then the judge will say, well, how much money do you send up to heaven to God? And he'll say, I don't send any money up to heaven because I don't know how to send that money up to heaven to God. So therefore, God doesn't get any of my money. And then he'll say, okay, if God doesn't get any of your money up in heaven, Chris Roller, why do you think you should get any of God's money down here? He can't get it up in heaven. Why should you get it down here?
God is right here, so I would like to cut a check for me.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Right, God is here. I'm making my stance. I would like a portion of that money, so you can just cut me the check right here.
I don't know. I got to get back to work. I'm working in my office, and I'm running out of time here. So, but interesting. What day is it? On February the 3rd? You said no.
Yeah, February 3rd is Thursday. It's a Thursday. Listen, I didn't mean to talk about that. I was actually calling about Me Better.
No,
it's not. There's no truth behind me leaving. Where is the truth? Give me any indication where I've been leaving.
Right, you haven't left yet. But every other week you were talking about it. Well, let me ask you, what employer would want to spend 6 months or 4 months training somebody when every day they're talking about leaving? Nobody would. You'd be foolish. Anybody would be foolish to hire anybody when they're talking about leaving and moving to a different place.
Maybe there's nothing here to keep me here because you act like a butthead and say that I'm leaving all the time, and then try to keep me out of the band because you don't want to get me better. Then you say that I'm leaving because there's nothing here to stay for. But if I had a band to stay for, like Red's band, then I might stay. But you keep saying that I'm going to leave, which you're incorrect. You're incorrect in presuming that I'm going to leave because there's no track record of me leaving.
There isn't?
No, there isn't.
Okay.
I mean, I have moved.
Everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
When have I left? When have I left?
Just because you haven't left since you've been here. But you know what? Before you moved here,
Roller, you talked about moving here 2 years before you moved here. You
Yeah.
said, I'm going to move out to Redwood, but you never did. For 2 years you talked about it. So that gave me an indication that you just really don't know where you were headed, and then when you got here, all you ever talked about was moving away.
Let's think about that. Use a little bit of intelligence. Maybe I don't wish to move that often. That's why I do not wish to pick up and move at any given moment. I like to stay where I'm at. That's what that means. Do not presume that because I'm hesitant to move, that means that I want to move everywhere. No, I don't want to move. Think of it. Think about it, man. Think about it.
Okay. But you've continually always said that there really isn't anything in Redwood that you want, because your main pursuit is getting a job in your field, and that's what you're really wanting to do. And that the music was kind of a side thing, you know? But
Scott,
that's the way you've always came across. I'm just being honest with you, Roland.
Scott, I know. Okay, I understand, but think about it. If there's nothing keeping me here, then why wouldn't I want to go to somewhere that's keeping me somewhere, like a job or a band or something, right? Why do you presume I've got nothing going on here? So why the hell would I want to stick around here?
That's what you've always said. But you're saying if you had a band like ours or Reds, that would give you a reason to stay here. Is that what you're saying?
Of course, that's what I've always been saying. Why do you presume that I'm always moving? Every time you open your mouth, it's Roller's leaving.
Well, that's what every time you open your mouth, that's what you're saying.
No, it isn't. When is my
got done telling me?
You just
got done telling me 2 weeks ago. You just got done saying, I just got done passing my last certification. Now I'm sending out resumes, and I'm looking for a job, and I'm looking at Atlanta, and I'm looking at Seattle. That was your very words.
Scott, have you not been listening to me? I'm looking for a place that wants to keep me. There's nothing here keeping me. The job would keep me. Why would I want to stick around here? You make it sound like I wish to leave because for every moment, that's all you talk about. Every word out of your mouth about Roller is I'm leaving, and all I'm trying to do is trying to stabilize my life.
Okay.
I don't understand where you come up with this. Every time, I swear to God, every time I talk to you, it's Roller's leaving, and we don't want to give Roller a lead song. We don't want to do no separate ways because Roller's leaving town. I'm scared. I want to play with you guys, but I'm just scared of our relationship because you don't make much sense. Because it's just you say things that really irritate me because you're constantly thinking I'm leaving town. And you're right, I have been talking about leaving town because there's nothing keeping me here.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to argue with you about it anymore.
Well, I just want to state that I do not understand. And then because I've been thinking about coming here and haven't, you make it sound like I'm moving. And I didn't move. That's because I want to keep stable. I'm trying to be stable.
Yeah, okay.
That's strange. It's strange that you would say that. It really is.
Well, okay. Put yourself in my shoes, and then listen to if you were me and you were hearing your friend Roller talking about getting the certifications and wanting to go and move to a bigger city where he could pursue his education and leave. How can I believe anything different? You know what I'm saying?
Scott, that is life too, that sometimes somebody's there for 3 months and you just enjoy them for 3 months, just like a girlfriend or whatever situation it is. You make it sound like I'm in a marriage for 20 years, So even if I do move in 6 months, you know what? You had me for 6 months. And if I'm that enticed to be in this band or whatever band I'm in, then I do not wish to get a job. Then I'm here. But it's a situation. It's a situation in which you take into account the goods and the bads, and you make a decision for the benefit of stability and potential for the future.
Okay. So it doesn't matter to Ken and I if we put a whole bunch of time into working with you in the band, or we change vocal parts and learn different parts and then in 3 months you walk on us, and we got to start all over and learn, renew, and our time is worth nothing.
Okay,
to you.
listen,
That's what I'm saying.
I try to,
Okay?
yeah, I understand that viewpoint. That's why I wish to come in, like, at the last stage, where I can just fill in and be like nothing, be like somebody
Right.
that's
And,
just,
and that's probably going to be, that's probably work.
that'll
that'll probably work.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And that's why I think that's the best thing, because if you fill in something that we don't have, whatever you do is going to be better than what it was. And then if you walk out, well, then we go back to the way it was, because we don't change any parts. And that's the best way to do it, just like you said.
Yeah.
I don't have any problems with that. So,
Yeah, I understand your viewpoint. I really do. It is just that it seems like every other word is "I'm leaving," and yet that's all you're going to tell. That's what you're going to give me for reference. If I give you a job reference,
you know what? We won't say nothing to Red about you. We think that you're going to leave. We won't say anything.
I mean,
in
it's
fact, we'll just say the positive things, that he's got good pitch. He's a good vocalist. He's a good keyboard player. He's a good guitar player. He's going to only do anything but give you more of a boost in your band. And then Red make the decision whether he wants to split up the $600 or $500 a night into 4 pieces instead of 3.
Right.
And then let him make that decision. Because that would be the only thing from me telling him that information. That would be the only thing that would keep me from hiring another person. But you know something? I think that Red in the past has had an opportunity to take on an extra person, and he hasn't. But I've never asked him why he hasn't taken on a 4th person when it would be such a good addition to his band, because his band sounds so empty with 3 musicians.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's the fact that he didn't want to pay the money, or if he couldn't find somebody, or what it was, you know? Or if he wants to be the main attraction in his band and, you know, and have all the glory. I don't know what the reason has always been, but we you know, I think anything you do, if you walk in his band, since his band has been so weak with vocals, I think anything you go in there and contribute to is going to make his band sound better. And I think Curly would be the first to tell him that.
Yeah,
So,
I appreciate that second reference method you used. I'm afraid, yeah, it's a better strategy. I had this job reference, and I thought I could use a personal reference, but I was afraid of you, because you just might say, well, Roller's just probably going to pick up and leave in 2 months. I mean, that's all I hear from you, Scott. That's why I didn't ask you to be a personal reference for me. Seriously, God. Seriously, God.
Sometimes it's better not to have anybody say anything than to say something at all.
It's always got to be positive. But boy, I'm telling you, Scott, there's a lot of negative that comes out of your mouth about me. A lot of negative.
But you know what, Roller? I'm being truthful. I'm telling you the way I feel, and I'm not hiding you. You don't have to go out to anybody and say, is Scott saying bad things about me in back of my back? And they would say, no. He's saying whatever he says to me, he could say to you to your face. And when I do that, then it makes you mad. And I'm being honest with you, Roller.
Yeah,
and you know why? Because I consider you a good friend. And I'm being honest with you.
See, your honesty is not truthful. You think that I'm constantly moving, and I'm not. You're incorrect, and that's why I don't include you. Your honesty is incorrect. That's the problem.
Well, my honesty about my opinion, that's my opinion. I'm telling you the way I feel. If I wouldn't tell you the way I feel, oh, Roller, yeah, you're the nicest guy in the world, and I think you're gonna, you know, I could blow you all out of proportion, and I'd be lying. I'm telling you the exact feelings that I have about you. I'm telling you the good things, and I'm telling you the things that I think are the things that would keep, or that kept us from having you in the band, and that was the fear of you leaving after we put a lot of time into you. That was that's the biggest reason. But we don't have to tell that to anybody else. Nobody has to know that. You know? So, but anyway,
I understand your perspective. I just disagree. That's we disagree.
Well,
So,
you know, and I gather the information, and I see the things the way I see them and hear the way and then I make my decisions based off that. And if I make the wrong decision, you know, that could be that I just make it based on the facts, and that's the facts.
I understand.
You know what I've heard from you. So,
all right, thank you.
You know what? I would give Curly a call and ask Curly for Red's number, and then you could call Red and say and ask Red a little bit about the band, and ask him if he's willing to take on another guy, and tell him what you do, and tell him your vocal range, and tell him you could sing Journey and Styx and play the keyboards at the same time, and you know, he just might say, hey, this is just what we need to make the band more popular, and just say, I'll come and meet you tomorrow night. Maybe I'll come out with Scott or Ken, and then I'll try to come out. I'll go out with you, because I've been wanting to go out and listen to them for a while, and they're never around, or I'm always busy, but I should be free tomorrow night if they're at the Legion.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks.
Oh.
Yeah, thank you, Scott.
But your car is in for repair now, right?
Yeah, hopefully get it back like Sunday. So I'm using Kathy's car. I'm using Kathy's car right now, but
well, if you don't have one tomorrow night, just call me on my cell phone, and I'll come and pick you up, and we'll go out and listen to them.
okay.
Okay?
Yep.
And don't be mad at me. I'm a good friend.
No,
You just
no.
maybe never figured that out yet.
I'm not mad. I'm not. I just was clarifying. We agree to disagree. That's no problem. I understand. Okay, I understand totally.
Okay.
But, okay. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
We'll talk to you later.
Yep. I'll learn. I'll
Okay.
get your stuff learned. I'm learning your stuff.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.